Welcome back to Find Me in a Book podcast, where our fictional crushes could kill us and we'd say thank you. I'm Tav, and we are talking about is it Blood of Our Monster? No, Blood of My Monster from Rina Kent. This book, y'all, is dark. I have honestly, since I've read it, I think it's been about a couple weeks since I've read all three. There's 3 books in this little series. I have thought about it a lot. And apologies for last week. I'm pretty sure I had a little bout of bronchitis. I had no voice, and so it wasn't quite possible to do an episode. I could have made the husband actually do one, but I was like, oh no, I'll just pick up from next week, and that's totally fine. So yes, we are talking about mostly the first book in this series, but I will mention the other 2 as well because the story is just unreal. This is the first time that I've read something by Rina Kent. So I didn't know what I was going into. I read it with my book bestie, Paloma. We have been in kind of a little kick of dark romance, and she was the one that found these. And I believe in Rina Kent's world. There's generations, and I want to say that it's called the Monsters. I think the Monster series. It's towards the bottom of the generation. So we could go back and read about these characters' ancestors or wherever, grandparents. I'm not sure where it leads to. But I don't know if we will. I think we might just keep going forward with the next generation because it was kind of exciting. And the there's multiple reasons why I liked this book and this series, but the main one is it's giving Mulan vibes, and I love Mulan. Mulan is my favorite Disney movie. Not movie overall, of course, but favorite Disney movie, always Mulan. When I need something in the background, it's either Lord of the Rings or Mulan. It is just such a comfort movie, and I'm not exactly sure why. There's a couple reasons, Shang, he's a very fine character, and I just like how she is just so cool. She's you know what, I'm gonna do this for my family. I'm a strong independent woman, and I'm gonna go fight and prove myself. And I'm absolutely, even from a young child, I was this is what I want. And so when we were looking at these books, I saw in, I think one of the descriptions, it said Mulan, and I was oh, we should do this. We should do this. And I'm so glad we did. Like I was saying, it's very dark. It is, if you've never read Rina Kent before, she's very dark, very captivating. It's very raw. It's very, honestly, it kind of gives it vibes of being real, like raw and gritty, and just, I don't know, something about it. I was I really like this. Oh, absolutely. I cannot recommend it to my mom or sister. I think they would cry. I don't even know if they would make it to the first or second page. But my aunt, though, I need to see if my aunt has read this. I know that she's read some Rina Kent, but she would love this series. So I need to put that on my list, actually, to text her, because these characters have so many layers. There's so many secrets, so many twists that I'm you think that the main bad guy, which we're going to get into, his name is Kirill? I'm not even sure. Kirill? I'm just going to say it Kirill. I know that you can say it a lot of different ways. It's Russian. This is where it's based in, at least at the beginning, is in Russia, and military and all that. To see these characters, they change, but they don't. And Kirill, he's very held back at first, and then you start to see who he really is. He's very manipulative. He's very toxic. He's very just strategic, and he's obsessed. He is obsessed by the end that you're oh, I kind of want someone to be obsessed with me. He is obsessed with Sasha. And it just, you see both of their sides. It's dual point of view. It's mostly Sasha that you see, But it is kind of fun to get Carol to just to see how like his mind works and just how twisted it is. It makes you live. It was giving so many dark obsession vibes, and I was here for it. So let's talk about tropes that were in this book before we kind of get into, plot summary, all that jazz. So there was enemies to reluctant allies to lovers, but it was kind of a quick change where it's like they're allies because like they're in the military. And then maybe I should go into the plot first, but yeah, he finds out pretty quickly that she's a woman, and so it goes to lovers, and it's reluctant, but it happens, and because there's that distrust actually the whole time, that it's like, okay, do we trust him? Do we trust her? And we'll get into that again. There's the hidden identity, which I kind of talked about with like Mulan. We'll go into that more in the forbidden love, power imbalance, and then trauma bonding. There's a lot of trauma in this book. And these characters have gone through so much as well. So let's kind of get into the plot. There's not going to be a lot of spoilers, but just be aware that there might be a little. So we meet Sasha. She is a young woman in Russia, and her family has actually all been murdered. And you start to get vibes of maybe her family wasn't into the best of situations, into things, kind of giving shady vibes, but I don't think she really knows that her family is doing that. Like, she's young, she's the girl, she is loved by her father. You kind of get glimpses of like in the past and stuff, but her family was whole, like all of them murdered except for her, and we're thinking her brother, and then her grandma, and her uncle, and then she has a little cousin that survived as well. So they're like the only ones left in her family. And so she's trying to figure out, like with her uncle and everything, who was the one that killed this. Like, they're pretty sure it's like this one family. And so she's like, okay, I am a woman. I'm not allowed to go into the military, but I've got to figure this out. This is going to like help me figure out who like said to go and kill the family, everything like that. So she goes into the military as a man. She goes by Sasha, but I don't know if it's pronounced different in Russian, where I'm sure it is, but she goes by the name of, it's like Sasha still, but for like male version, it's like Sacha, and I'm not sure if that's pronounced different than Sasha, but she does cut her hair. She does take on like the stance of a man, kind of like Mulan, and goes by Sasha. So she is, frail. She's a woman. She doesn't have as much muscle, and so she gets into the military, and she gets razzed a bit. She gets like, people are after her, like the men are like not treating her well because she is smaller. And there was one situation where Carol like sticks up for her. Like, he sees kind of her potential. He's not getting vibes of female, but he like sees that she's kind of like the underdog, and so he helps her a little bit. And then when it comes to like he is like the military commander of like this secret team, a very like ops, very like hush hush, very trained. And so when they get an assignment, he's like, hey, I'm going to take her with me. And everyone's like, why? But there's something about her. So they get into like this combat action, and he is very, very intuitive. Like, he can feel like if situations just aren't right. He's very in tune with his gut. And so they go into this, action, a plan or whatever, that he's like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. So he sends only one of the groups, and it goes wrong. He knows that someone, set them up. And so quite a few of his team die, and they get split off. So it's him and Sasha, and they're trying to survive, and he's like treating her badly. And she gets injured because she takes like a bullet for him. She's a sniper, by the way. And so she is trying to like kill these people, and he's like, no, you got to get behind. And it comes to be like she gets shot for him. And he's like, okay, like this storm is coming. It's cold. Like, we have to find a village. And at that point, I don't remember what sets him off. I want to say it's just like he's just really smart. He's very intuitive, like I said. And he's like, Sasha's a woman. Like, I can tell. Like, she has like her breasts like bound and everything, and but it's just like her mannerisms. He's like, I'm like 99% sure she's a woman. And so when she gets shot, like he like carries her to this town, but he doesn't want the town people to know that they're soldiers because they won't help them. And so he like finds some laundry and he puts her in a dress. And he gets like regular clothes and takes her to this like offshoot like doctor and nurse, like they're able to help her, and he says that she's his wife. And so she wakes up and she's like, why am I in this dress? And he's like, well, this situation, like we had to do what we had to do. And then from there he starts to get really obsessed. Like he starts to really like, I don't know, just cling on to her, but it's in such a dark, like, I don't even know. Like he pushes her away. He won't let her get close. But and he's just so protective, but he has to like he helps her, like everything goes a certain way. They get out, they find his team, and he's really upset and he thinks that it's his father that planned this whole thing because he's very influential. And so he's like, okay, team, like I have to go back to New York because his family is in, I'm pretty sure it's like the mafia or the cartel, like it's the mob basically. And he's like, hey, I've got to go back. Like, you can come with me. Because some of his people in his team were with him, like, as guards, like, growing up and with his family. And then when he decided to go to the military, those people followed him. And so he's like, you can come with me. You don't have to come with me. And all of them are like, no, we're coming with you. So there's, like, his main guard. I think his name's Victor, I want to say. And then there's two other guards that we kind of get to know a little bit. And then there's Sasha. And she's like, please let me come with you. Please, like, I want to go with you. And he's like, no, like, you have to stay. Like, you're a woman. Like, I don't know anything about you, because he knows something's off. Like, she won't talk about her family. She's very, very secretive. And so he's like, I don't know if I trust you. But still, he's like, I am obsessed with her. Like, I can't let her go. And so they all go back to New York, and it's kind of a shit show. Like, his family's very messed up. And I loved it that, like, nobody knows that she's a woman still. And so you see all the manipulation that he has to go through to, like, get in the right, it's the Bratva. That's what it is, because it's Russian. It's the Russian mob. To get to like the top and to talk to all these other people. And then you see how Sasha goes into his family, because he has a sister, he has a brother, and then he has a mother. But his mother hates him, and she hates his sister, and she just dotes on his brother. Like, it's a very messed up family dynamic. And so you see how Sasha kind of like slowly inserts herself into the family, and she becomes good friends with the sister and helps her with like her panic attacks, her anxiety, like just helps her become more functioning. And then you see kind of how she like warms up to the brother, and the brother is very much against Kirill. Like, they've been plotted against each other from the very beginning. And so you see how those relationships soften, and there's just so much like manipulation. There's so much going on. Like, you have no idea the different twists and turns and characters, and like, it's so good. I loved it. I was hooked. And it is Kirill and Sasha's story, all three books. And it kept me interested. Sometimes, okay, little side note. I found out my book bestie, Paloma, she's opposite of me, where she loves when it's like the couple's story continuing through the series. And I have a hard time with it. Like, we read The Predator by Runix. I think that's how you say it. And the first two books are about the same couple. And then the books after that are about different couples. And so that excited me. But she was like, I don't think I want to continue because it's not the two people's like story still. Like they're still involved and it's like the main plot, but I don't really enjoy that. So I'm like, oh, interesting. So we're complete opposite. So with this one, I was like, I don't know if I want to like keep going. I don't know. Like Carol's making me really angry. And so after the second book, I was like, I don't know if I want this. It seems like he betrayed her. That's the thing, is that this relationship in these books goes from, it just bounces. It's like a wave. And at the end, you're like, okay, I don't like them. They shouldn't be together. And then it kind of like restarts their relationship over. So it's like a whole nother story in the next book. And then in the third book as well, that it kept me so entertained and so like captured that I was like, okay, I have to know what happens with them. And eventually, yeah, like I think it's not till the third book that everyone finds out that she's a woman. And at one point, he thinks that she's dead. And so he goes on this rampage. And that's what I'm telling you. There's a lot of killing. There's some torture. It's very dark. There is, just make sure to please look at the trigger warnings, because this is rough sex. This is like very emotional, very like kind of traumatizing events that happen. And it's a lot. Like sometimes I had to be like, okay, let me just take a break. Everything's fine. I don't know if I could compare it to like Haunting Adeline, because my book bestie Paloma just read Haunting Adeline and she's like, oh, okay, like this is kind of dark. So it's like kind of on the same level, but definitely different. I loved the story in Blood on My Monster. All three books, I loved the story. And at the very end, I was like, okay, I can now see why he treated her how she did, how like everything came to be about. It's just such a long game that you're like, okay, I'm in it for the long haul. Like I am here to see what happens in each book and how these characters grow and come together, and just the obsession and love and the distrust. There's so much distrust in these books that I'm like, okay, can someone just like be honest for a minute? Like, can you please just tell them of your past and why you're doing what you're doing, trying to protect it? Like, it was very frustrating with that I'm like, can you just tell him, please? Like, so that was kind of frustrating, but frustrating. Yeah, if you love a good character with emotional damage, this is the series for you, for sure. So that is us diving into darkness for this episode with Rina Kent. I actually really want to read more of her stuff. I don't know the level of darkness the other stuff is, like the level of like, dark, like I just said. So I am going to tread carefully, but I'm excited because I really, really liked her writing. And so I'll keep you updated as I read more into it. I don't think I'm going to do an episode on The Predator by Runix, just because I didn't finish the series. Like I read the first two books and then I don't know, I just wasn't interested, I guess, moving further. Like the storyline was a little bit too slow for me. So, but just know I did enjoy the first two books. So definitely look into that if you are interested. And stay tuned for next week, because we are going back into the light and flirty and fun. And this is just, our dark side this week. So anyways, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, follow me everywhere. I'm mostly on YouTube. Like that is where I'm replying to comments more. That is where like my videos are being hosted, basically. So like Spotify, you can tell that like these episodes are a little bit shorter because I'm mostly changing towards YouTube and less of like the podcast area. So just make sure that you are aware that the formats are kind of changing and it's a little bit more short form instead of like the long episodes. I mean, this one's a little bit longer, but the longer episodes of what I used to do, like 30-40 minutes, like they're definitely cutting shorter. So definitely subscribe on YouTube. Definitely leave comments. What did you think about these books? If you have read them, if they're on your list, like let me know if you have any questions. But thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll talk to you next week.